Hi guys, so we're back again with another cool product. This week it's a little bit different. It's not, well, it is the actual product. This week we have the Homeschoolers, and Homeschoolers is basically an educational platform which is helping you to build thriving and smart children through the use of educational and growth and mindset products. And this is specifically aimed at children that are black and mixed race, to help them be confident within their skin and just thrive. And they have loads of products, and you can hit up their website. We'll put all of the info in the description box. But one of the products that is a really good one is a journal, and it's called the Confident Kids Journal. And basically the Confident Kids Journal is a growth mindset powerhouse, helping your child to develop a strong level of confidence, raise their self-awareness and their resilience, and conquer their goals and dreams. So it's a journal. It's got 164 pages, and basically by the end, it's really cute actually. It's really good. Look, it's got nice good illustrations, and it looks self-love chapter 1 and different tasks that they can do. And this company was set up by a young lady, and it's run by her and her 3 children. So that's really good, and it's black owned. So we'll put all of the details in here in the description box. But yeah, this is the product, the Homeschoolers. So hit them up. Thank you. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Zeze MILLZ show. Obviously I'm Zeze MILLZ, and today we have, I am actually really excited about this episode, okay, because I think it's a very, 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 very much needed conversation that we need to have within our community as black people, because there's a lot of stigma around this conversation, and I don't think people are open in this type of conversation. So I just want to say, if you think I'm going to do this interview attacking, so basically you've got 2 police officers here, but if you think I'm going to do this interview attacking, I'm here to have an open conversation and to actually figure out how we as black people and the police officers can kind of mend this broken relationship like you have with a baby mother that you just cannot get along with, but you're just stuck with them. Because let's be honest, when our houses get burgled, we're all calling 999. So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, the baby mum or the baby father that you're stuck with for the rest of your life, but you just have to learn to get along with. This is basically the relationship that we have with the police as black people. So yes, it's gonna be constructive. So if you think I'm here to go in, that's not the type of interview it's gonna be, okay? So that was my disclaimer, because I know what's gonna happen. Oh, why didn't you? It's just like, shut up. So who do we have in front of me? Introduce yourselves, and can you tell me your positions within the Metropolitan Police?
Okay, I'm Joy, PC Che at work, okay. And I've been in the police for 14 years, 14 years now. I've had various sort of points in my career. So I started off on the borough of Redbridge, which is in East London. I started off there as a police constable on the street. Then I started to work in missing persons. And started dealing with things like county lines, etc., and stuff like that. And then more recently, I've come on to a delivery team for support of black officers and officers and staff, and engaging with the black community as well. So recently, that's my new work that I've started. And yourself?
I'm Dominic, PC Affiliator. I work in Westminster. I'm attached to the CID Proactive Gangs Unit. So basically, I just wear plain clothes, go around, target gang members, gang nominals, drugs. We cover a lot, to be honest, not just gangs. I've been doing it I've been in this role for about a year.
So you're the person that you'd be on Insta, like, look at him.
On Insta? You never see me on Insta.
No, I mean, like, someone will record someone like you in plain clothes and be like, look. No, they don't even look at the feds, look at them. I see it all the time. They're like, everyone beware, this is what they look like now. Man's not even wearing the uniform anymore. They're just out here trying to catch us. You're in that bracket, okay?
It hasn't happened yet, but now it's probably gonna happen.
Well, sorry, yeah. Well, I mean, you've come on quite a big platform.
I know.
So my thing is, I understand that there is a very strained relationship between the black community and the police, okay? Especially obviously like white police officers. A lot of black people, we feel like the police force is not for us. Black men often get racially profiled. If I'm correct, I think stats that came out recently, like black men are 9 times more likely to get stopped and searched. I understand why the black community they don't like the police. I understand that a lot. But I also understand that we need the police, obviously, because like I said, if my home gets burgled, if someone in my family goes missing, if something happens, that 999 is who I'm gonna call. But it's just that I don't think we have trust in the police. Where do you think that came from? Where does that come from?
That's a good question. I think it's for many reasons, and I think for myself and for Dom as well, we are people that are from the community. So we didn't just jump into the police out of nowhere. So I was born and raised in South London, South East London, and that's where I grew up. I saw a lot of different things happen, a lot of tragedies happen, which made me want to join and come into the police for those reasons, because I wanted to make a change and make a difference for my community, for people that are like me. You know, I went to college in Battersea, do you know what I mean, in Westminster College, and anyone who used to go to college there knows what that was like. When I came into the police, I thought, do you know what, I want to make a change. And I know at the end of the day, things happen, you know, things happen just because it's the Metropolitan Police. There's 30-odd thousand people in there that are all human beings. So bad things are going to happen. Do you know what I mean? That's going to happen in any organisation. That's nothing that, do you know what I mean, that we can sort of sit here and pretend that hasn't happened. So I understand why people have their views, because I have been in the community, do you know, and I still am in the community. Before we put our uniform on, we're still black people.
So in the 14 years that you've been in the police force, what can you say has changed? Because I know there will be a lot of people watching this and being like, well, if you've been in the police force for 14 years, why does it feel like nothing has changed? Why does it actually seem like things have got worse? Why has the stop and search for black males gone up instead of do you know what I mean? What's all that about?
Detentions and everything like that. And you know what? I hear that, I do hear that, and that's why, for myself personally, while I set what I set up. So when the George Floyd, BLM, all that stuff happened, I personally took a little check for myself. And 14 years down the line, I kind of looked and I just thought, do you know what? I've been a police officer for 14 years, but actually, what have I done to make the change? What have I done to make the difference? And I thought, we're still having these kind of conversations, and we're still hearing this same thing and this same rhetoric, everything. So I was like, what have I personally done to change it? And I honestly sat there and I thought, do you know what, Joy, you haven't done anything, to be fair. You come in to make a change, but actually haven't done anything. So I then decided, do you know what, I'm going to set up a network for black officers. Right. So we set up a network called the Black Police Network in Strand, set it up to support black officers, especially during that time, but also for development of black officers and to progress black officers within our organisation. Because we were quite disjointed, like even though we're in the organisation, we're quite spread out. So it's like you don't all come together. So we decided to come together because we all wanted to make a change. When we sat down and we had conversations, and we had various discussions amongst us, there's 200 of us in it now. We had various conversations, and when we sat down and we had a chat, it was like, okay, why did we all join? And we were like, yeah, because we wanted to make a change in our community. We wanted to see something happen in our community, for our community. We don't want our community to be scared. Do you know what I mean? We don't want that fear. So we all came together and we decided that this is what we were going to do. We were going to start connecting, linking in, and doing things how we would, as our culture would, rather than being there just keeping your head down. Do you know what I mean? And now people say kind of toning it down or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? We decided no, we didn't want to do that, because this is still us, and people need to understand, you know, when we take off that uniform, we're still black people. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't go away for us. It's not like we sit there and pretend it doesn't happen. We can see. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so it is about, so I understand. I get where people are coming from, because I was there. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, I was there, I still am there, I'm still in the community. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Do you mind if I call you Dom?
Yeah, go for it.
So you are a plainclothes officer. As a black male, knowing that a lot of other black males are racially profiled just because of how they look, they might be wearing a hoodie, they might be wearing a tracksuit like you, they might not, you know, literally just because they're walking on the street, they get pulled over, stopped and searched. How does that actually make you feel as a black male? Do you not feel, is there ever a part of you that just feels like you're a traitor?
Do I feel like a traitor? No. I understand why people may think that I am, or even call me one. I understand, but that's an ignorant mentality, because what people are shouting for is change. I'm here to try and change. Why don't you come and join me and help me change? And if you don't think my change, the way I'm trying to do it now and adopt it now, is correct, what are you doing? Do you get what I'm saying? So if me being a traitor is perceived as me going to do a job in which I can help everyone, black, white, Asian people, then yeah, call me a traitor. But we both know that's not the definition, you get me?
I think what a lot of black people feel is that even though we can have black police officers, is that the actual institution of the police, of Metropolitan, is that right? Metropolitan Police, Scotland Yard or whatever, yeah. Metropolitan Police is actually racist. It's institutionally racist. So yeah, we can have black police officers, but the people at the top and the other police officers, it's ingrained in them that black people are this, black people are that. So, okay, we can have like really good people like yourself that are really trying to change. It's like that analogy of the fruit bowl. You know, there's loads of bad fruit. Doesn't matter, eventually the good fruit are going to turn bad because you're in that institute, you know, the bowl is bad anyway. How are 200 of you really gonna, you can have pure intentions, and I don't think that you don't, but what I struggle with as well is how do you, in an institution that we know is systemically racist, how do you do this?
So first of all, there's not just 200 black officers.
Oh, no,
just
to clarify. No. I mean, in this organisation that you've started,
the
like
network,
the network that you've started, you are making active effort to try and do something. So you guys are trying to do something, but the organisation, the Metropolitan Police itself, is known for, you know, everything that I've just said. So how do you?
You know, a big part of this, right? And we was chatting before, right? The big part of this is, like Dom said, what can we do? See, even with us in the organisation, a lot of it is about learning, is about education, it's about our race and our culture, and people actually learning about it. You wouldn't be surprised, but how much people don't know about our culture, not just inside the Met, like everywhere. Do you know what I mean? People actually don't know a lot about our culture, you know, and how to tell us apart. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for us now, what we're doing is we're bringing our whole selves to work. Yeah, we're being involved in things like this, for instance, and things that maybe the Metropolitan Police wouldn't have been involved in before, but we're actually engaging with our community and coming down on our own level. Do you know what I mean? That it's not so corporate and so this, that, but actually this is about us. This is about our culture and what we can bring to the table. So we have like workshops, do you know what I mean? Workshops, development groups,
discussions. Is that workshops for other police officers as well?
This is workshops within our network, so just for black police officers.
So it's like sometimes me as like a black woman, I might say something, and sometimes when when I was working in the corporate world, my white colleague might think I've got attitude, but really it's just me saying, excuse me, like what's going on here? But they see it as like, that was very got a bit chip on your shoulder attitude, and I think that sometimes is what happens with the police. The police, like maybe white police officers, when they approach black people, we're not being rude. We're not being this. It's just our tone.
It's understanding our culture, isn't it?
So shouldn't this organisation be teaching the white police officers how?
So that's what we're doing.
Okay,
so we're doing exactly that. Like, we're showing people our culture. So we've got like putting together education packages. We're putting together learning and development packages. Do you know what I mean? So that it's actually us doing that, as opposed to maybe somebody doing it who hasn't got any knowledge of, you know, issues around the black ethnic minority community. So we're actually trying to tap into the resources that we actually have, and we're ourselves are getting up and doing it. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're doing it because, you know, we see, like Dom said, it's like, we need to make the change. It needs to come from us. It's like, what can we do? And it's no good us sort of complaining, but then we're not showing people who we are. We're not showing people about our culture, getting people to learn, well, there's, you know, Africans, there's West Indians. Actually, they're two different things. Do you know what I mean? Within Africans, you've got different parts of Africa. You've got Ghana, Nigeria, Congo, this, that, and the other. Within the West Indies, you've got Jamaican, you've got Bajan, you've got Dominican. Like, do you know what I mean? It's showing people all this kind of stuff. So we've got loads of things planned. We've got like open days. We've got, you know what I mean, career days. We've got just days where we're going to be showing off our cultures and all stuff like that. So we've got like so many things planned, and workshops and education and all this bits and pieces. And we've even got allies as well that we brought in, because there are a lot of officers that are not black that do really support us, and support our cause and do push us forward. Do you know what I'm saying? And with those people that we have, they're our allies. Do you know what I mean? And they help us. It's like, you know, when we look at Harriet Tubman and all these people, they all had allies. Do you know what I mean? All these people, they had allies. And so we're bridging that gap even within the Met, and we're getting our allies and bringing them together to stand with us. Do you know what I mean? To try and help people understand our culture and understand our people. Because, do you know what I mean? I know growing up at home, like my parents are from Ghana, and it was always very loud, but that's how we grew up. But then when I actually talked to one of my colleagues one time, they said they grew up with like quiet voices. And I was like, what? And they're like quiet voices. And I thought, wow, that's so different from my culture. But it's something just simple like that, because if you grow up saying like quiet voices, and then they meet me for the first time, like, yeah, you're right. And they'd be like, she's attacked, you know what I mean? Or whatever. It's like that whole, like, no, it's a whole misunderstanding there. But it's just we've been brought up very differently. Do you know what I mean? We've got different cultures across the world, and everyone's different. But it's just having an understanding of that. And I think a lot of the work we need to do is definitely getting people to understand, because there are people that come to work from outside of London where there aren't black people. Let's be honest. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And that's what I think is a huge problem, is that I was going to
say what the Met is actually doing. Not that I'm here advocating for how great it is or how bad it is. The Met they've made it, 40% there has to be ethnic minorities. Do you know what I'm saying? This is a time to which black people that are considering it, or even opposed to it, should actually read up into it and be like, well, actually, you can say the Met's not doing this, not doing this, not doing this. They've opened the door to black people to come and join. Black people are sitting here saying, oh no, can't join, can't do that. Why?
What did your family think when you said you want it? What's your background?
Lucky. My mum's Guyanese, South American, my dad's Nigerian.
So what was their response to when you said you wanted to join?
Be careful. My mum supports me in everything that I do. I'm lucky. Do you know what I'm saying? Not everyone has that support. My family supports me. But also, where I live, I know how really it is. Do you know what I'm saying? So I understand the mentality of other people's, and a lot of it's justified. Do you get me? But I was lucky, and I was determined that if I want to make change, you got to do it yourself. Do you know what I'm saying?
So in the unit that you're in, how many, do you have like a team and how many in your team are black?
3.
3?
Yeah. And then
how much is the team made up of?
7, 6, maybe someone's left.
Oh, okay.
Our team's diverse.
Okay. So do your white colleagues do you ever I won't say catch them, but do you ever catch them?
No. Don't you have to finish your sentence? No.
But
the people on my team.
You don't even know what I was going to say.
Go on. Go on. Do I ever catch them what?
I'll fight for them.
I apologise. I'm sorry, Zeze. I'm sorry.
Do you ever catch them racially profiling, seeing someone and being like, or maybe, you're going to tell me that you've never seen them racially profile anyone?
The people I roll with?
Yeah.
No. Do you know why? Because my DS, best DS in the Met, he is open to learning. He will openly say, I don't understand, Dom, what did he just say? I don't get it. Just, what was he saying? I'm like, yeah, he's saying this. He's like, okay, cool. He won't get involved. He doesn't need to. He understands that effective communication, that's what we talk about in the Metropolitan Police so much, effective communication. He knows I can build a rapport with this other black person or Asian person, even white person, because maybe my age, the way I look, the way I dress. Do you get what I'm saying? There's stuff
but
that
a lot
we
of
can relate.
times we don't, again, it could just be what is put on social media, which I'm also very aware of, because you just mentioned something about effective communication, and a lot of time, the videos that we see online, there's no effective communication going on. It's just, and then it's annoying because, if a black man has been pulled over 5 times that week, this is the 6th time they've been pulled over, and you expect him to kind of just be calm and be like, hi officer, yeah, oh what, yeah, you wanna, yeah, sure. Like you know what I mean? Anyone that is constantly being pulled over, there's gonna be a breaking point. So we often don't see the effective communication that you're speaking of right now.
So you will never see the effective communication on social media because it doesn't get you views. For me, do you know what I'm saying? The people that I interact with, and remember, I'm a plainclothes unit to which I'm dealing with gang members, people that have knives, weapons, that want to hurt people, that are selling drugs, and that are doing county lines, they're manipulating young children, all of this stuff. So they're generally quite bad people, not all, some. Yeah. I'm still able to build up a rapport with them. This will never make the media. Do you know what I'm saying? I still, after, we have a duty of care in the police. I will go to their house, chat to their mum and be like, look, mum, I call them mum. Say, mum, look, you need to understand, he's made a mistake. If he's willing to change his life, he can change his life tomorrow if he wants, you know. He can do it. He can say, you know what, this isn't for me, and I can help you. My unit has helped youth get, like, youth that are in vulnerable ones, get jobs. I've had them come up to me and stop me in the street and be like, do you know what, Dom, say for that, you saved my life.
Do you think that black people are treated unfairly by the police?
Well, it's difficult because I can only talk for myself and what I've seen, so my experience, yeah.
But you can't, if the stats show that black people are 9 times more likely to be stopped but then a white person,
that is an issue.
You can't
yes.
There's just stats there.
Yeah.
That's just facts that we are treated unfairly.
So. Yeah, no, rightly so. They are disproportionately, it's there, you're right, the data is there. What I think, to me, I'm all about trying to resolve the situation. So that's a fact what you stated, right? So I'm not going to argue against it. That's what is the truth. What needs to happen is the Metropolitan Police need to learn from this. Whether they will or they won't, I don't know. But they need to learn and they need to build up effective communication and transparency. That's what I work with, do you know what I'm saying? That's how I police.
Okay.
So they are doing a training package and diversity with all the new recruits now. But at the same time, we're doing our thing in which we need more black police officers, to come in. They can educate others just by being themselves, being around them. And B, you'll have people that have been stopped and searched before. So I know how it feels. So when I'm talking to people, whether we've had a roll around, whether he's tried to stab me, whether he tried to shoot me or run me over, I'm still going to be courteous and give him respect. Because I know deep down, he ain't got nothing against me. Do you know what I'm saying? He don't want to get caught. I get that. Do you get me? So it's breaking down barriers. That's what we need to do. And everyone needs to individually take responsibility and be like, boom, what am I going to do to help the situation?
Do you think that, I guess, and both of you can answer this question, do you think that as black people, we should learn to handle situations better? As in, like I said earlier, like I understand why anyone that gets pulled over is angry. I get it. Like I understand. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but do you feel? Because I've seen a lot of people say, we don't help ourselves. We get angry. We start shouting. We start doing all this like, oh, what are you doing? Like, nah. Do you think that we should learn to we should know our rights and we should know what is allowed and what isn't allowed and kind of conduct ourselves in a better, quote unquote, manner?
So yes and no. Because I've been stopped, I've been searched, and you can say that I've been irate or upset or angry or aggressive or whatever terms they wish to use at the time of me being stopped or pulled over. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to temper the way you feel about a situation. What I would say is that you cooperate and it'll end quicker for you, especially if you haven't done anything wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't be angry. Be angry. Do you know what I'm saying? It's an emotion. You get upset. Yeah. But at the same time, if the police officer explains, like this is what I'm saying, transparency. If he says, the reason I've stopped you, sir, is this, this, and this, and this, you do not have to like the fact that I've stopped you. But 99% of the time, people are going to go, all right, cool. I didn't do it, but search me. That's what happens to me all the time. They're like, I didn't do it, but search me. Do what you got to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'll call you sir, because to me personally, calling people sir is empowering, especially the youth. So these are things that we can all learn. As police officers, we can all learn and if you give mad respect to people, And when they're disrespectful to me, I just go, I haven't been disrespectful to you, my friend. Like, and then the switch goes in their head. They're like, oh, he hasn't actually been rude, you know. I've been kind of anti. He's gonna search me. Don't find anything. I didn't apologize, you know. I'll be like, you know what,
but
mate,
that's what I'm saying.
that, you know?
You seem like people watching this might say you are not the majority of police officers. And you mentioned something earlier about police officers saying, this is why I've stopped you. But if I'm correct, isn't there something called Section 60 where there doesn't need to be any reasonable suspicion? You can just stop somebody, there's no suspicion. So if I've been stopped under Section 60, of course I'm going to be.
There's still grounds to why Section 60 has been put in place by, is it by an inspector? Yeah. Long story short, I don't want to bore you to death with like all the background to it. Basically, if there's a serious matter that's happened, i.e. a stabbing or something serious disorder, the inspector has the right, or chief inspector, I don't know, I should know this, I'm sorry, but he has the power to put a Section 60 in a specific place, probably where it happened, and say, we're going to blanket search people, we're going to look for this person that stabbed this person.
Yeah, but then that's when the racial profiling comes in. Because then the racial profiling is, okay, you're not stopping every white person that you see, you're stopping every black person that you see. So then that goes down to the racial profiling again.
But that's where the education piece comes in. Do you understand? Okay. Because it's not just black people that carry weapons.
Well, yeah, right? We know that.
We do. That's the point. And this is where the education piece comes in. And this is why we need more black police officers. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're able to do that education piece. We're able to have that influence and have that effect. But if there's 1,000 odd of us out of 39,000, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what we need to start thinking. You understand what I'm saying?
Has it been hard for you guys, like within the force, like as black police officers? Is it hard for you? Because obviously I've been talking about. But what about for you? Like, as somebody, like, do you face, like, racism within the police force, like, when you first started, or do you get what I mean? Or when, is it hard for you, like, maybe being around, it's like me sometimes when I'm in environments and somebody might make ignorant comments about a black person, and you're just like, no, not all black people are like that. No, like, how is it difficult for you? And sometimes do you feel torn? Do you feel a bit like, you know, if you hear something that might be like a flippant comment, is it hard? How is it hard for you? You keep smiling as I say, yeah, I hear this every day.
For me, we've all got, the thing is, everyone's got different experiences, right? And out of an organisation, like I said, that's so big, you understand? But for me personally, I can honestly say I actually haven't had stuff like that happen to me personally. Right. But at the same time, obviously...
Dom's looking at you like, for real?
Yeah, right. 14 years, like...
But listening.
But do you know what? It's you know, do you know what I mean? It's, but obviously having the BPNS and the network that we have, we speak to a lot of officers and a lot of experiences that they go through. And like I said, at the end of the day, there's a lot of understanding and there's a lot of misunderstanding around a lot of issues, and especially with our cultural issues. Do you know what I mean? And there's stuff that, yes, as black people or black ethnic, you can find offensive. There are people that are a bit, hold on a minute, and people don't think it's offensive. Do you understand what I mean? But you're like, no, that's offensive. Yeah. But you're getting to a point where, you know, like I'm saying, that the responsibility to speak up in these things, to let people realise that, hey, do you
feel more comfortable now since Black Lives Matter movement to speak up about these things?
100%.
Do you feel like within the you're saying yes, he's saying no?
Yeah. For me personally, no.
No.
I've become more confident as I've accepted who I am and become more of like, I bring myself to work all the time. Like what I tell people, I had this conversation with my mum earlier before I come here. I said certain people, their uniform defines them. Right. I'm me, I just happen to wear a uniform. Right. So when I'm out on the road, I talk the exact same way. I can change it for depending who I'm talking about, my target demographic, but do you know what I'm saying? This is me all the time.
What do you think about this whole, I know it was like a American thing at the first, but then it's kind of like come across over here as well about this whole defunding the police. Because what you mentioned something earlier where you said new recruits are coming in and they're being trained about diversity and all that kind of stuff. But I think what it is the older You know, that ingrained older, the people at the top that haven't, that were never taught about diversity, about different cultures and different ways people might speak or the different ways people might carry themselves. So it's like, okay, it's all good and well that the new police officers are coming in and they're learning, they're being taught diversity, but what about the people that have been within the system for 30,
yeah, they
40,
still got to learn.
30,
People have still got to learn diversity.
Are they being
learning
taught?
don't stop?
Are they being taught?
Let me allay your fears, yeah? So you're worried about the commanders, the deputy inspectors, blah, 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 blah. When was the last time you met one on the road?
I mean, I've never really had, I'm lucky enough to say I've never had like an encounter with the police ever. So, do you know, I've never been stopped or whatever. So I wouldn't have had.
You wouldn't have met a commander.
Right.
I'll tell you that. It's very, the people you're talking about,
but still,
you're not going to meet them. The people at the bottom who are getting all the new training, or the people that, and they're trying to recruit, well, we want 40%, we want more black people here, they've got life skills. They've already lived this. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're going to come in and they're going to have their own mentality. It's not going to get spoiled. It shouldn't, because police officers are a certain breed of kind of people. Normally they're strong, courageous, you know, stoic. Along those lines, you may not think so, but what,
some of them.
But okay,
it's true. Not some
kind
of them
off topic,
like,
but everyone that does this job, I have to respect them, because at any moment you could die from whatever. Man could shoot you, stab. So I give every man, all of you, mad respect.
even
People
the
make
ones
mistakes.
that are racist.
People that make mistakes and do stupid things, they do that. But do you get what I'm saying? They're still put on a uniform with a massive target on their back.
So what do you think about the whole defund the police thing?
Me, that's not for me. That whole, I
What
thought
does
that
it
was only
achieve
American thing.
though? Like when people say, like, what are they looking
I think, me personally, I think the slogan doesn't make sense. Yeah. I think what they want is like a reform within the police, from what I understand of it. I don't think they want to be like, fuck off the police, get rid of all the police, because obviously we need some sort of, you know, we need the police for certain things. Like I keep always saying, your house gets burgled, you're calling 999. Do you know what I mean? Accident happens, you're calling the police. Do you get what I mean? But I think what people are saying is that the system is corrupt. So basically what you're saying is the new people that are coming in, they need to be taught, they need to be this. But the actual system is always kind of going to be corrupt. And do you agree with that?
Do you honestly feel that way?
Wow.
I don't feel like the whole system, because I'm in the system. So when people make that, when people say that, you're seeing it from your point of view, to which you've already said, boom, I've never had an encounter with police. So what's that?
I don't think black females get pulled over as much as black men.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think a lot of black women probably, you know, haven't been pulled over by the police as much as black men. So me using myself an example is kind of redundant. Do you get what I mean? Because I'm not the target that is going to be pulled over. But I know, like, I could guarantee you, I bet you, Andy, have you been pulled over by the police?
A 1,000 times.
Have you been pulled over by the police? Have you been pulled over by the police? Like, there's 3 black men in here that have been pulled over by the police. Do you get what I mean? So, me personally, I agree that there needs to be change. And I honestly believe most of the time that the only time there can be change is from the inside out. Yeah. And I do feel like more black people should join the police force, because that's the only way that I feel like there can actually be a change. Because Karen or Sally, who lives in fucking Northampton, where there's quite a lot of black people in Northampton, but you know what I mean, in a village or somewhere where there's not a lot of black people, and she travels into the inner city every day. She doesn't, like you said, she doesn't know how to talk to Darren or whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? So I agree with that, but I just don't think that we as black people, we have faith that even if we come into the police force, that we're even going to be allowed. So you guys have put this initiative together, which I think is brilliant, and I think it's brilliant that you're going around and but do you actually also have support from the Metropolitan Police? Are they backing you?
100%. So I started this network in July, right?
Okay, right.
Started it in July by myself, you know, nothing, obviously, do you know what I mean? I've got 4 kids who saw me go through the whole thing from beginning to end, saw how I started it, everything, right? Went through, started speaking to people, started gathering people up, etc., you know, just got back in from people. I got a lot of support, do you know what I mean? A lot of support from non-black officers, from other networks that I was a part of within the organisation. And they're just like, you know what, we believe in it, Joy, just go ahead. no one was saying to me, oh, you know what, because I'm using the word black, black police networking Strand. It wasn't anything else. It was about black officers directly, because I knew that there was an issue and there was something that we had to address. And the word for me, black, that word was always very negative in people's eyes, in people's views, everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought, nah, this word needs this needs to stop being so negative. We need to turn this word into a positive. So we started the network. I started speaking to people, and then most recently, that was in July. I was doing my day job at the same time. So to be honest, I was working round the clock, because I had my day job and I had this. So I was constantly doing everything that I was doing, yeah? And then I actually wrote an email to the commissioner, told her what I was doing. She asked to meet me. I actually met up with her, had a chat about it. She was supportive. She was like, do you know what? This is great. Do you know what I mean? Go ahead, do it. Then a delivery group was set up, the Deputy Commissioner's delivery group, which is specifically there, as I said, to support our black officers and also engage with the community so that we can actually do this work, right? And I was given the space to actually do this. So I am now doing this as my kind of full-time role.
Okay, right.
So, do you know what I mean? I can't say anything, do you know what I mean? For somebody to give me that role, and not being funny, when it comes to rank structure, I'm a PC. So I'm actually right at the bottom rank, if you like. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not like it's not like people really knew me or anything like that, but people were behind what we were doing. People were behind us as officers and what we were doing, and saying, right, you know what, we give you the space, bring the learning, bring the education, bring whatever it is that you can bring, help to change the matter around.
So what's some of the benefits of being a police officer? Is the pay good?
The pay is decent. It depends what you're, like, put it this way, I didn't do this job to get paid loads and loads of money, because it's not going to happen. You're not going to get paid loads of money, but you'll get paid more than most people. Right. The structure's there for you all to see. The top level goes up in tiers. Right. I think it's 6 years or 5 years, I can't remember, sorry, because it changes every so often. And I think it's 48,000 at the top, but you can work overtime, so forth, and make more money on top. It's not, I got a house, do you know what I'm saying? I got a car, all that, so you can do all of that stuff. To me, the biggest benefit is, I always tell people my job is like Will Smith in Bad Boys. I drive around in a car, I chase people down, I have fun, I use my skills. I'm athletic, I get to run.
Right.
I get to do active stuff. So if that's you, then to me, you're in a job which is boundless opportunity in terms of where you can go. As much as people say, well, I don't see black people doing it, there's only 1,500 black people, so come on, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not going to see them you're not going to see them. You can be a helicopter pilot. You can be a marine unit. You can be dogs unit. You can go on a horse. You can guard the queen, or maybe not the queen, but royalty, close protection. There's so many roles that
loads
people...
of stuff, yeah.
How does being a police officer affect your mental health?
Mine's fine, I think. Not really. No, but don't get me wrong. I think people have struggles because of the nature of the job and things you deal with. But I don't think you come into this job.
Or should I say, how does it affect your mental health as a black police officer? So, sometimes when you might see, I don't know if obviously in your 14 years you have probably seen black people being treated unfairly or whatever. How does that affect you as both of you?
It's hard. I still remember today my first arrest.
Yeah.
And it was a young black boy.
Right, okay.
And do you know what I mean? And I never forget that, because I never forget going over and my heart just sank. My heart sank because I just remember, why does he have to be black? I remember that was what I was thinking.
Do you think that a lot sometimes? When
Not so much. I think that I was new. I was brand new. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was quite, and it was my first. But it's the nature of the job. Like, you arrest people regardless of what colour they are. That's what you do. If people are doing crime and they're committing, you know what I mean, you're gonna do the right thing. Do you know what I mean? Regardless, forget colour. Do you know what I mean? People are doing crime. At the end of the day, everybody. Nobody wants crime to prevail on the streets. Everyone wants to be protected some way, some shape or form. So I think on that aspect of it, when you talk about mental health and stuff, I think when you come into this job, you don't kind of do this job unless you're a bit prepared for what you're going to experience. And it is an amazing experience. Now, you get so much job satisfaction from this job. And I personally, I think when you know you're helping your community and you're doing things like when I was working with county lines and then what Don was saying, and you see people kind of come out of that and you can speak to them or find out in 5 years' time and they say, yeah, and you see them and you just think, yeah, it's such, you know, when you say benefits and stuff, as much as money, pension and all this kind of all different roles, there's nothing like the job satisfaction that it gives. A lot of people, and you can speak to a lot of officers, and even though, you know, we've got that label and all these negative things, a lot of officers you speak to say, I love my job. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it does give you that job satisfaction.
What about you, Dom? What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you as a police officer?
I don't know, it's weird now because I'm used to it. Yeah. So we was talking about it earlier about how I get stopped by police when I'm working and I'm doing my job.
But
that's
this is
just
what I'm saying.
because
that alone, does that not just let you know that
there's context behind it. So I've told you, no, but there is context. I'm telling you.
What's the context? You're walking along the street.
There's been times when I've had to engage with members of public,
yeah,
and they're already scared of what's happened prior, and they deem me as a threat. Is it right or wrong? I'm not saying, but people call police on me.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to ask yourself, if you was a white man that was they had come after and you was dealing with something there, would they suspect that you're criminal if you was white?
Probably not. But if I was wearing my uniform, it would.
Exactly, that's what everyone's saying.
But members of the public are calling out police on him. That's members of the public.
Remember how I dress.
So are you saying other police officers think you're...
No, members of the public.
Members of the public.
Yeah.
I thought like maybe you was there before and another unit came and they didn't know you.
Confusions have happened before, but
with
we're not going to delve into that. But
then this is what I'm saying.
But that's because the nature of my role, my job.
But your nature of your role is that you're in plain clothes, and then that's basically what people are saying. Black men in plain clothes are racially profiled. You're there, you're actually a police officer. So another police officers have come, another unit have come, they've seen you and automatically maybe thought that you're not even a police officer.
Yeah, because that happens in, you know, the confusion of like situations at
That's
times.
Not confusion, that is racially profiling.
No, you got to give everything. No, you got to get everything context. You got to give everything context.
Not saying that. Not saying that. But I think
my whole point is, I think if a white man was there in whatever mix-up there was, I don't automatically assume that they're going to be like, yeah, you're definitely a part of it.
Shall I tell you why I say no? Because there's white guys not a unit. It's happened to there's white guys on my team, and it's the same thing. It's the way we dress and the way we carry ourselves, which because we have to blend in to an extent. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. So if something's happened. But I'm not saying you're 100% wrong and it's never happened. I'm just saying there's always context behind things that are happening.
We have to round up, but as black police officers, how does it feel knowing that the majority of black people kind of don't support your decision in life to be a part of the police force? Like, how does that feel?
If that's how a lot of people feel, then that's like, quite.
I put something on my social, on my page, and a lot of black people just like ask them why would they even do that? Why they're sellouts, like they're coons.
So the question, do you know what the question I have though? Yeah, the question I have is what would they prefer the police service to look like?
Good question.
That's what I'd ask, because it's like, okay, that's all well and good, yeah. But say me and Dom and all the other 1,500 officers now go hand in our warrant cards, go, you know what, we're going to go and be train drivers or whatever else, yeah? And we leave the police. That leaves it looking very different. So, you know, my question is, what would you, if you're going to say that, but then what would you like? What would you want it to look like? And that would be my question. And the thing is, what we need is backing. We need the support of our community, because like I said, at the end of the day, we are part of the community. We don't distance ourselves from the community. We don't come into the workplace and sit there and go, oh, no, do you know, we have nothing to do with the black community. We don't, no, nobody, we don't do that. That is our community. And we were just chatting earlier, we don't want to feel that our community are afraid of the police. So we are doing everything that we can internally to change that. We've made it very clear that, you know what, like you said, change got to come from the inside out. No one's going to want to come into the police if it doesn't look good on the inside. So that's what we're trying to develop. So all this education, we're trying to make sure everyone's educated, everyone's getting the learning and development, whether they're up there, down here, whatever. Everyone that is affecting The community is where we want education to take place, and that's why we want to have this relationship with the community, especially us as black officers. We want that. We want to hear things. Do you know what I mean? We are normal people, and that's why we haven't come here in our uniforms. And do you know what I mean? We've come here to show that we are normal people. And you know, if I had time to sort of sit down and talk to people about my life and my upbringing and how I was, etc., and same I'm sure with Dom and where we've come from, people might look at it a bit differently. But we join to effect change. We want to see change. And so I just encourage those people, get your application form, go online, yeah, and apply to join the job.
Or even,
do you know what I'm saying? Make the difference.
You can come for a ride along.
Yeah,
come see how
ride along. Come ride in the cars and see what goes on.
Okay, so obviously that's the end. I wish we could talk longer because I feel that there's so much we could still cover. But just tell people where they can find you and where they can find the organisation, etc. Just quickly.
Yeah, so go online. It's very easy if you'd like to join up. Go online to the met.police.uk website. It will show you all the ways that you can enter. And now we've got a London residency where basically if you live outside London, you can't apply to be like a PC role. You can still apply for other things, but it's a London residency criteria specifically for people who live in London. So it's a great opportunity. If you live in London, go for it. Go on the website. If anyone sort of needs anything, my contact details you can have. I'm happy for people to contact me. And yeah.
Okay, guys, so you know what to do. Like, subscribe. It's been an interesting conversation. We're out. I was going to say gang, but I don't think it is.
Well, for the gangs unit, yeah?
For this,
gang.
it's appropriate. But fuck it.
Got
Gang. Thank you.